Are you sure I'm up to the task? There is no one better suited for this than you, Angel. But we both know how dangerous this world is, Father. There's weird creatures prowling all over the place. If I go, I could cause a panic. You are one of very few people who know the truth about the Gojira. If you don't do it, no one else will. I still don't think this is a good idea, Father. We both know how strong and aggressive the Werendoraptor is. This task was appointed to you, my daughter. Remember, Lord Ghidorah is with you, even if he's not around physically. And so am I. I won't let you down, Dad. I know you won't. Be safe, Angel. Psst. Angel. Angel. Rise and shine. It's sunrise. Kong? Where is everybody? Mephiles is having us gather in his personal cave, and I think it might be important. What could it be? I wish I knew the answer, but we'll find out when we get there. Okay. What? Mephiles has gathered the whole group. Mephiles? Why have you gathered everyone here? Is something bad happening? This time, thankfully, no. And I was just getting to the reason why we're all here. But because it's late at night, I think we may have to set the mood. Godzilla, would you be so kind as to start a fire for us? Alright. Thank you. Now then, I couldn't help but notice that every time we all have free time, you guys tend to doze off and get lost in your own heads. And it's been happening a lot lately, because every single time I call everybody for a meeting, it takes you guys a little while because either Mech King Ghidorah, Kong, Gamora, or even Dagon himself are busily just lamenting about the past. Can you tell me what's going on? Yeah, I kind of figured you would know eventually, so I guess now is as good a time as any. I guess I'll go, since I was the last to show up. Yep, I was thinking about my past again. Come to think of it, Angel, I think I'm the only one here who knows about your past. Everybody else doesn't. Well, the best thing I can tell you guys is this. I couldn't find my parents anywhere. It was like they just up and left. My story's a little bit similar to Mephiles's, but without the whole abusive parent thing. And because I was so small and only a baby at the time, I was forced to scavenge off the kills of other creatures. And even that was risky. Let me tell you. Survival wasn't easy. I knew if I kept scavenging, I would eventually perish. Or would I? This was the day everything changed. I never thought that Lord Ghidorah's right-hand demigod, Smaug, would be my father. Wait, I'm sorry, hold up a fucking second. You're telling me that Smaug is your father? Yeah? So? Wouldn't that technically make you a demigoddess as well? Godzilla, I'm not trying to be rude, but weren't you even paying attention? Yes, Kong, I know. You said that when you hatched, your real parents were gone, you never knew what happened to them. Correct. Anyways, thanks to Smaug, I now finally had someone I could depend on. I couldn't have asked for a better father. Sure, yeah, like every bond that you would always have, we had our tough times. But he still genuinely cared. Besides, I didn't really have anywhere else I could go anyway. For the most part, I had a pretty peaceful life. Until that one fateful day. And it only happened when I was just a teenager. Dad, what is that? swear, Therizinosaurus. Everything happened so fast. Angel, run! Every bone in my body told me not to, but I didn't have a choice. So that's what I did. I kept running. Until I had run so far away, I couldn't even hear the fight anymore. I also realized I was so far away from home. But he taught me to be strong, no matter what I faced. There it was, the Black Mountain. I immediately remembered my father's words, and knew that even though whatever it was that lived up there was a monster, it was still the rightful king. And you know, the rest is history. So this whole time you're the adopted daughter of a demigod. Interesting. Definitely a lot more heartwarming to listen to than Mephiles, that's for sure. Indeed. Mephiles? Huh? You good? Looks like you're lost in thought again. Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm just thinking about the first fight I had with Nemesis. You mean the one from 15,000 years ago? Yep. It kind of feels like that fight in the story you told us was a bit short. That's because it was, and I didn't really have time to tell the full story at the time. So, you know what? I guess I can retell you guys how exactly it happened. He had been doing this since he first emerged on our home planet. If I stalled any longer, the death toll would have been uncountable. Part of me knew he was more than just a robot, but I had to take my chances. His brute strength proved to be a nearly unstoppable adversary. I had never felt so much physical pain in my entire life. But in the end, cunning and deception, but mostly pure luck, granted me the victory that day. Looking back on the fight, it's honestly a miracle I even won. So that's what happened. I thought what Nemesis meant was that somebody interfered at the last second and gave you the chance to win. His Majesty and Smaug were a little preoccupied. Right, yes, because of the whole, Gods of the universe, keeping it safe and from outer threats and all that. Doesn't really sound like he wasn't using his full strength. Well, back then, I was and still am not at my full potential yet. But enough about me. I'm focusing on you guys tonight. Who's up next? I wouldn't do that, Dagon. Scarfang doesn't like to talk about the past. What are you talking about? Mephiles' story was dark as hell, so why won't you share yours? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can handle it. No thanks. I'm good. But Bulltooth and Darkfang said... I know what they said, Swift Razor. I don't want to talk about it. No offense, Scarfang, but we've been together for over 9 years, or maybe even more than that. So come on, just tell us. Scarfang, please. Guys, that's enough. If Scarfang doesn't want to talk about it, he doesn't want to talk about it. You will have to respect that. Fine. Excuse me? Okay. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Good. I don't want to see any more attitude out of you for the rest of this conversation. You hear me? Yes, Mephiles. If Scarfang wants to tell us, he'll come to us on his own. Well, because I'm still kind of new to the group, I guess I could go. Yeah, Rodan, actually, you've never really been much of a talker. And not to mention, you've always been kind of in the background of this group. Well, that shall be the case no more. So here it goes. Well, I honestly don't really remember all that much. I remember my parents, though, and I couldn't have asked for better parents, just like Angel. My mother and father poured every single drop of blood, sweat, and tears into raising me. But as the Gojiras continued their onslaughts towards my species, we had to move to higher ground. How is it out there? It's getting rough. The Gojiras are everywhere. They're burning everything. If this keeps going, we'll have nowhere to live. Our lives have been peaceful up to that point. But today, everything would change. Yo, Turkey Bird! You're gonna have to come with us. The king requires your assistance. Oh, and bring your wife and kids, too. None of us could have prepared for the living hell that was about to enter our lives. I could only watch as my parents were forced to commit such atrocious acts. Your Majesty, what about our child? Oh, don't worry. He'll be well taken care of. Okay, as if you say so, Your Majesty. And that was that. That was the last time I ever saw my parents. They just flew off, and that was it. Well, what now, boss? We've gotten rid of the parents, so what about the kid? He's still young. We'll train him. He's not one of us, but if he grows up, he could become a menace, just like his parents. Alright, whatever you say, Your Majesty. And that was that. 25 years and thousands of war crimes later, I was finally presented to the king and queen as a sub-adult. Look how much he's grown. He's probably one of the toughest members of his species that we've ever trained yet. In that case, Rodan, it's time for your first assignment. Your first real assignment, to be exact. What is thy bidding? There is a rebel base filled with great apes that was found not too far from here. Find them and destroy it. They're planning a rebellion against all of our kind. What choice did I have? But before I could take off... Your Highness! Oh, now what? It's urgent. We have reports of a were-creature attack. What kind? I don't know. But it's one of the big ones. We have 7 fatalities already. We have to act fast. Ugh. If we see you move from that spot, you're dead. Gojiras, roll out! Once the Gojiras left the room, I decided I'd stayed in that hellhole long enough. Several hours later, I had managed to get away without being seen. I was about to go find a place to sleep for the night when all of a sudden, I was approached by Remar and Remar Prime. They were looking for recruits for the Legion of Justice. You there, sir. Do you have a name? Yeah, call me Rodan. I'm Remar Prime. This here is Gamora. We're looking for new recruits for the Legion of Justice to fight against the tyranny of the Gojiras. Aren't they the alpha species, though? That's where you're wrong, unfortunately. They told me everything. It's all a lie? Yes, everything. They're not kings. They're tyrants. We've tried everything in our current power to try and stop them, but they're too strong. We need someone to be our scout, but they'll also have to fight too. A chance to redeem myself? No way I was passing out on this. Remar Prime, I would be honored to be your scout. Ah, fantastic. You're doing a wonderful service for the Master Realm. Let's go tell the Raptor about our new recruit. Right behind you. I wasn't sure what to think when they said Raptor, but he sounded like a much better leader than any of the Gojira. And yeah, shortly after that I met the rest of y'all, and the rest is history. I can see that you're a victim of their abuse as well. Only this time it was for a different reason. I can't even imagine what it would have been like to watch your parents commit so many war crimes. Yeah, I mean, my parents could have tried to fight back, but I don't think they would have gotten very far. Well, that's Gojira's for you. Caring about nobody but themselves. Surprisingly, Godzilla and Dagon are not like that. Yeah, I guess that means that not all Gojiras are alike. Well, anyways, who's up next? I guess I can go. Oh, Remar Prime. Yeah, I don't recall ever hearing much about your backstory. That's probably because there wasn't really a whole lot to it. As far as I could remember, I didn't have any parents, so I was forced to fend for myself. And as you can tell, I wasn't quite like all the other Skullcrawlers. I was a bit different. But I wasn't completely alone. I had somebody you could call a mentor. How is it? It's good, Skull Devil. Thank you. It's not much, but I guess it'll do for now. Good. Because it looks like things are getting worse on the surface. Why? What's going on up there? I really wish I could tell you, Halakra, but I don't think you're ready to hear about the horrors I've seen. But I want to explore, you know? See the world. Believe me, no one knows that more than I do. But it's too dangerous, Halakra. We can't risk you getting killed. I understand. Sounds like things are getting worse up there. I'm sorry, Halakra. I'll have to go. I'll see you later. Be careful. Our numbers were dwindling. If the destruction kept up, our species would perish. So, one particular day, when the attacks were getting worse on the surface, I made a very dangerous decision. I wandered out of the tunnels. I didn't have a choice. My species was on the verge of extinction. What was I doing, may you ask? Sneaking into the bad guy's laboratory, of course. Once I snuck in and made sure that nobody else was in the room, I snuck up to this strange device with a syringe and injected myself with it until the syringe was completely dry. I had to act fast, though, because I heard someone coming. After taking that serum, I didn't realize that it would have some unforeseen side effects. As time passed and I grew, I found that I was even bigger than most of the other Skullcrawlers. Holy shit, Halakra! You've grown! Yeah, about that, Skull Devil. I think it may have something to do with that syringe that I injected into myself a long time ago. I know you did it to help out, but it was still very dangerous. I know, but I didn't really have a choice. Fair enough. A distress call! Sounds like we're under attack yet again. Stay here. Stay here? I'm a full-grown adult! If things get even more out of hand, we'll come back to get you, but for now, just stay here. No. I was tired of sitting around in a cave. It was time to make myself useful. By the time I had reached the surface, it was starting to get bad. I had to do something. What happened next? It's honestly all a blur. are you? Silent type, huh? Typical weak-minded skull crawlers. I don't know how, but I managed to eventually scare off the Gojira. And by the way, the name's Remar Prime. How did you do that? I don't know. It might have been the serum. Well, whatever that was, you've proven to me that you're much more capable of a warrior than I thought you were. So I guess you're free to go and explore the world. But what about you guys? We'll figure it out. We'll be okay. Well, good luck to you. Yeah. Until we meet again, I suppose. Right. It was hard for me to say goodbye to the life I once knew. But someone had to leave if things were going to change. After some time of traveling and exploring, I bumped right into Angel. And the rest is history. You fought off a Gojira? All by yourself? It was strong, but not really all that strong. Still impressive nonetheless. Oh yeah, Rodan, I know. So that's why you're asking so many questions all the time. You've been cooped up in a cave for all your life. Where's the rest of your species now? Probably still underground. Yeah, well, with those chaos demons running around, it's not exactly safe for them. So, who's up next? For once, guys, it's getting late. I'll have to start getting to know everybody else at another time. Look at all of you. This is what I call a crew. Godzilla over here, he's always willing to jump into battle and sacrifice himself for you. Can't think of a better man for the job. Thanks. And Dagon, this guy right here, he's the definition of loyalty. Best companion I could ever ask for. Technician weapons guy, my greatest supporter. And a lot of you. With a team like this, nothing can stand against the Legion of Justice. Except for, well, you know. And you, Mephiles? Best leader we've had yet. You know what? You guys have earned the rest of the night off. I'll keep watch. Good night, folks. Stay out of trouble. See ya, Mephiles. I guess we all can just relax out here for a while. I don't have anything going on, so sure. Hope everything's okay out there.